Hey guys, so it's December 16th, 2017, and guess what? I'm going to be heading to see the new Star Wars movie called Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oh man, I'm so excited for this. I really loved Rogue One. Wonder what this one will be like. I'm so excited. Hope it's better than The Force Awakens, because I thought it was good, but I wonder if this will be better or not. Well, let's find out. I'm really excited for it. I really can't wait. Hey, I'm so excited. Got my ticket and everything, yeah. I'm really hyped. Oh, what the? My phone's ringing. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Hello?
Hello, is that Luke?
Yeah, that's me.
Hi, it's you from the future. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm actually you from the future.
What? You're me? Do you even exist? Like, what is this?
I need to warn you about something very dangerous, okay? You're about to see the film called Star Wars The Last Jedi, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go and see The Last Jedi, yeah. I should be on my way now, actually, but you've just interrupted me.
No, don't watch it. You're going to really hate it, right? Okay, you weren't really big fan of Force Awakens. You're going to really hate this one. You're going to say it's the worst Star Wars movie ever. You're going to really hate it.
Wait, why tell me I shouldn't watch it? Because I really want to see this. I'm a Star Wars fan. You know what, future me, or if you even are a future me, or just an impersonator trying to sound like me, can you please leave this call right now because I need to go out, because it's nearly time for me to go and see this movie.
Oh no, I can't hang up. You're going to really hate this movie. I need to warn you.
Fine, you're leaving no choice, I'm going to press hang up button.
No, don't press. He hanged up.
Well, that was really weird, weren't it, guys? My future self just tried to call me. If he was my future self, maybe I was dreaming, but, oh my goodness, look at the time. I best get going. This won't be starting soon. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I really wish I listened to my future self on that phone call I had on the day I saw the film, because now I've come to really regret going to see this movie because, oh my god, right? I don't know where to begin with how much I hate this movie. I hate it so much, so yeah. Anyway, guys, so welcome to episode 3 of the Trash Talk series, and this is for none other than what is, in my opinion, the number one worst Star Wars movie of all time, which is none other than Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, or as I call it, Disney Wars, The Lazy Jedi. Because I refuse to call it a Star Wars movie. It doesn't even feel like a Star Wars movie. So, yeah. Now. So, quick synopsis of the movie for you. This movie follows Rey as she seeks the aid of Luke Skywalker in hopes of turning the tide of the Resistance in the fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order, with General Leia Organa, Finn and Poe Dameron attempt to escape a First Order attack on the dwindling Resistance fleet. So yeah, but okay, you know what, guys? Let's get through the good stuff first, okay? I mean, I don't know what I could really consider good out of this movie, but yeah, I'm going to try. All right, so the good things. The visuals and the special effects, practical effects or whatever, they're still, as good as ever, top notch or whatever. And John Williams' music is one of the few things I have no problem with in this movie, because he's my favourite composer of all time, and he introduced lots of, new musics in this movie, which I really like to listen to, as well as familiar themes, His music is like a saving grace, and when it comes to favourite scenes, there's only 2 scenes in this film that I like, guys. The one which features the return of Master Yoda, with Franco reprising his role. That was something that I was happy about because I love Yoda. And I love how he gave Luke the lesson that, failure is the greatest teacher. So yeah. And the other scene that I do like is definitely when Snoke is trash-talking Kylo. It's so satisfying, and it feels like Snoke really is us who hate Kylo, people like me who hate Kylo. I do love that scene because he trash talks him. It's what Kylo deserves for being such an unlikable character for me, But on to the bad stuff. Oh my god, right, okay. Here we go. Alright. The first thing I'm going to trash talk about in this movie is how it completely ruins and underdevelops and butchers my favourite Star Wars protagonist and my hero growing up as a kid, Luke Skywalker, because, you know, they really ruined Luke so much in this movie, right? I refuse to believe the Luke in this movie is the Luke I grew up with in the original trilogy, because he's nothing like the Luke I've grown up with at all. Like, I thought based on the ending of Force Awakens he'd still be the Luke I know, but what I really hated was, you know, as soon as Rey gave him a lightsaber, I immediately started to dislike him in this movie when he threw his father's lightsaber over his shoulder. Like, that is your father's lightsaber, Luke, and you're throwing it over your shoulder like it meant nothing, like a joke. How could you do that? And I hated how he was such a sad, miserable hermit who did absolutely nothing. And yeah, nothing like the Luke I know who's optimistic and, you know, never giving up hope, you know? I was furious at how he treated Luke in this movie, and plus, I also as well really hated how, you know, in the flashbacks where we see Ben Solo, I really hated how Luke didn't even try to redeem him, he tried to, you know, destroy him. You know, he contemplated killing him upon learning that Snoke was trying to corrupt him, which then caused Kylo to, you know, destroy the Jedi Order temple. Like, that is not what Luke would have done, because Luke redeemed his father, who killed him, who he thought he killed Ben Kenobi, you know, but he didn't want to redeem Kylo, he tried to kill him. So yeah, that's not Luke, and I also really hate how, you know, another thing I hate was how he died as well, guys, because that scene where, you know, we think we're going to get an epic duel between, you know, master and former apprentice, but nope, we were all tricked because, you know, Luke wasn't even there. He was just, you know, a force projection. And he doesn't even, you know, duel Kylo. He instead dodges all of his attacks, and then he trash talks Kylo, saying there's no hope for him or whatever, you know. Doesn't even, like, try to convince him to turn back to the good side at all, like he did to Darth Vader at all. He instead trash talks and saying there's no hope, you know, you've lost or whatever, you know. And then after that, Kylo tries to kill him, but then realises, you know, he's literally hitting the air because Luke isn't there. And then Luke disappears, and then on actual way he's still there, he dies. And also, Rian Johnson, a director I really hate after this, because he ruined my childhood with this movie, and also because he's disrespectful to the fans, you know, who don't like this film, like me. You know, he attacks fans who don't like this movie. You know, I really hate as well, you know, how he made a mistake with Luke's mechanical hand, because when Luke Skywalker fades away, guys, his mechanical hand goes with him. It doesn't, you know, land on the floor. It fades alongside him because it's not organic, you know, it's metal, so why did it, you know, not stay on the, you know, the rock he was sat on, you know? Another thing as well that I really hate about this movie, guys, is that alongside Luke, the original characters who were brought back in this movie, just like Force Awakens, they get wasted. So, for example, I really hated how Leia was wasted because, you know, this was Carrie Fisher's final film that she completed before she died, guys, you know, rest in peace. So, I was hoping she'd have lots of screen time and a very big role, yet in the film, she's hardly in the film at all because for most of the movie, she's out of commission in a coma. So, yeah, I was very furious about that. Because, you know, oh yeah, what I also really hate was also how Admiral Akbar and many other, you know, Resistance leaders were killed when the First Order ship, you know, shot down, you know, the Resistance's, you know, main hangar. I hated how Admiral Akbar died, and, you know, so yeah, Admiral Akbar was completely wasted in this movie, you know, so disrespectful to the character. Like, he's one of the favorite parts of Return of the Jedi, guys, and he was killed in this film. I hated that so much. But Leia, on the other hand, was able to fly back into her base using the Force, which I've not got a problem with that, guys, because she is, you know, strong in the Force, you know, because, you know, as confirmed in Force Skywalker, she was a former Jedi, so I'm not surprised that she knows how to use the Force, but sadly, that's all we get of her because, you know, of using her powers, because she was in a coma for most of the movie. He doesn't wake up until, like, an hour later, so, yeah. Leia was completely wasted in this movie, and she only has one scene with Luke, and that's it. I mean, Luke wasn't even there, he was just a projection. Also, Chewbacca, right, you know, I enjoyed Chewbacca a lot in The Force Awakens, right, but I really hate how he hardly does anything in this movie at all. and it's hardly a movie either, you know. The only things he does I remember is kicking down the door to Luke's hut, and also eating a porg. And speaking of porg, guys, I really hate the porgs. Unnecessary creatures are so annoying, you know. They look like a combination of a rabbit and a blowfish, yeah. And the noises they make on my nose, you're going, "Aye!" Like, oh my god. Like, I can't believe I just made that noise, but, ugh, can't stand them. And yeah. Also, I also really hate how C-3PO and R2-D2 are hardly in the movie either. Because 3PO appears sporadically throughout the movie, but he's hardly in it. And R2-D2 is also hardly in the movie as well, because he only has a couple of scenes. I mean, one where he meets Luke on the Falcon after all these years, you know, and but that's it, pretty much. R2 and 3PO are hardly in the movie. So yeah, I was disappointed, and you know, another big bad quality that I can't stand about this movie, guys, is definitely a character that I think is the worst character in Star Wars, which is none other than Rose Tico. Because she's so utterly annoying, I can't stand her. She serves no purpose in this movie at all, and the worst thing she did, in my opinion, was preventing Finn from sacrificing himself to destroy the First Order, you know, armies, you know, which were, you know, trying to break into you know, the Crate base, you know, with their generator. I think him sacrificing himself, you know, was probably a very noble end to his character. And, you know, as well, I think, you know, it would have perfectly ended him, and it made me have respect for the character. That's why he's my favourite member of the sequel trilogy trinity, you know. But she prevented him from doing that. I was furious. I hated how she stopped him from sacrificing himself. And as a result, it caused the First Order to breach the base. And, you know, it caused, you know, Luke to have to show up and end up dying afterwards. So, yeah. I was so furious. And I also, as well, you know, really hated, you know, what they did, really. But I will say that Kelly Tran is a lovely actress in real life, guys. She's a very lovely person, and she's a great actress. And in my opinion, she's miles better as Raya in Raya and the Last Dragon than as Rose Tico. Definitely. And she would definitely agree with the haters that Rose sucks as well. And I definitely agree with them that, because Rose does suck. So, yeah. But I do have lots of respect for her. I also really hate how several characters we met in the first film of this trilogy are also wasted in this movie. For example, Maz Kanata only has one scene as a hologram. Like, she was built up to be like an interesting, mysterious character in the first film, and she only has one scene in this film, so yeah, what a waste. What an absolute waste. And also, Captain Phasma. Phasma was completely wasted because she only appears in, like, you know, one actor movie, which is, you know, during the battle with, you know, Supremacy, you know, the massive First Order ship, I think it is, yeah. And, you know, it was just, you know, so stupid because she was wasted, and, you know, she hardly did much of a movie at all. Completely wasted, and, you know, they also confirmed that when she fell down the hole, she did die, guys, so, yeah, that's why she returned in the sequel, yeah, it's because she died, so, yeah. So, yeah, she was completely wasted in these films, guys. That's why I like Gwen Christie way more as Brienne of Tarth and Game of Thrones. And also, Snoke as well, right? Oh my god, right? Snoke was another example of a character that was mistreated terribly in this movie, because he was built up to being like an interesting new villain who we're going to really enjoy watching, but in this movie it all went downhill because, get this, guys, he gets killed by his own apprentice, Kylo. Like, that was so terrible how they killed him off, and they didn't even, you know, confirm his backstory or anything like that, or like who he's aligned with, or like what species he is or whatever, you know, or who he really is, like if Snoke is like an alter ego or anything like that. Yeah, they completely wasted such a very interesting character. Like, Andy Serkis was phenomenal with his motion capture, you know, and performance, but they barely gave us enough of him, so yeah. And then again, that whole idea of, you know, apprentice killing master is like a very familiar plotline, isn't it? You know, this movie has plot lines of both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, which made it so predictable, and I hated that. And I also really could not stand the entire subplot of Cancel By, because while it was an interesting planet, you know, the Star Wars version of Las Vegas, the subplot of going there for a Master Codebreaker was utterly pointless, and it didn't even feel like a Star Wars movie anymore. It just felt like a complete, you know, crap fest. Hated it. And I also wasn't really a fan of DJ either, played by Benicio del Toro, because, you know, we were tricked into thinking he'd be like a very big, main antagonist guys, like on the same level as Kylo, but nope, he was instead like an Imperial spy, secretly, First Order spy, secretly working with them, as, another Master Codebreaker. So Finn and Rose went to Canto Bight for no reason because they got captured, and Master Codebreaker happened to be there with them in the cell, not the one played by Justin Theroux. So yeah, like, this movie is just absolutely terrible, guys. I really hate it, and I also, as well, really hate how they made Hux a complete joke in this film, because, in the first film, he was built up to being like an interesting new villain, even though I thought he was a remake of Grand Moff Tarkin, but in this movie, he's comic relief, because we made him a complete joke, trying to make him funny, but the humour in this movie failed miserably, because they're trying to make this trilogy like it's part of Marvel, guys, like a Marvel ripoff of which is Star Wars, basically, and like, for example, the scene where, Paul is distracted from First Order by contacting them on the intercom, saying those stupid jokes about, Hux' mother, that was just so cringy. If we're trying to make it funny, they failed miserably. Because that was just stupid. And also, when it comes to Rey, I really hated how Luke hardly even trained her, because in the final film, he only gives her, like, about 2 lessons, and the other one is cut and is only in a deleted scene. So, yeah. And somehow she's able to, use the Force pretty well and, fight with a lightsaber well. Without even any training, which is just ridiculous, proper training. Like, the lessons he gave her were not enough. And somehow she's so good. Like, it took Luke and Anakin Skywalker a whole trilogy each to, master the ways of the Force and to use a lightsaber. But with Rey, it only took a couple of days, literally. So, yeah. And plus, the lightsaber fight with, Rey, Kylo, and the Praetorian Guard is also stupid, because, I mean, when you look at it first time, it looks like very well choreographed or whatever, but I noticed that, one of the guards made a big mistake, because they could have easily slashed Rey's back from behind, but they chose not to. So, yeah, what a big mistake they made, yeah. So stupid. Absolutely stupid. And Holdo is another character that I really hate in this movie, guys, Laura Dern is an amazing actress. My favourite role she plays is Dr. Ellie Sattler in Jurassic Park, 1 and 3. An upcoming film, Dominion, of course. But in this film, Holdo sucked. And I hated how she used hyperspace to, destroy supremacy. Like, that is just, ridiculous. And it completely ruins the shared universe of Star Wars. It's just absolutely unreal how stupid this movie has got to. The direction it took, was horrible. And plus, the ending of the movie makes absolutely no sense, because we see all these resistance fighters celebrating, as if, something really amazing's happened, and they're so happy. Yet, many of them got killed, including Luke, and somehow they're so happy. Like, what? Bad writing, isn't it, When it comes to Poe as well, again, Poe served no purpose in this movie apart from serving him, doing a mutiny. I didn't like Poe in this movie. I didn't really like what we did with Finn either, because of the whole Canto Bight mission he was on. It was just pointless, And also, of course, his sacrifice was stopped by Rose. Hated that. I really hated it. So, yeah. The writing in the movie was absolutely horrible. I don't know why people would say it was perfect, all these people who like the movie. If you like it, that's your opinion. But I don't know why, to be honest, because I hate it so much. I can't stand it. Worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen in my life. I just absolutely hate it. I really can't stand it so much. Like, it's horrible. And I also really hate how they also cut out Tom Hardy's cameo as a stormtrooper as well. Because that would have been interesting to see, because I like Tom Hardy as an actor. Like, why did they have to cut it out? Like, it looked like a pretty, intense scene where he's interacting with Finn, recognising him as FN-287, But, they cut it. So that was just absolutely stupid. I hated it, Like, I wasted my excitement on this. I wasted it because, I thought it was going to be a good movie, but nope, I hated it. I really hated this movie so much, guys. The worst Star Wars movie I've seen in my life, and, I'm never going to, watch it again. I refuse to watch it, and it made me lose respect for Rian Johnson as a director. But that's why I call him Ruin Johnson now, and that's why I refuse to watch any more of his future things he directs. So, yeah. But yeah. But this movie is, I can tell why Mark Hamill was wanting to warn us about it, you know, before it came out, and also so did, you know, I know Carrie Fisher also didn't like, you know, filming this scene where she slapped Paul because, you know, of the direction she was given. She kept getting more and more angry as she slapped him, you know. And I can't blame her, so yeah, but rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. I feel so sorry for Carrie Fisher, you know, that having to be her last movie. I feel so sorry for you, Carrie. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm done trash talking The Last Jedi, or as I call it, The Lazy Jedi. So yeah, if you know, I'll give it out of 10. Because of John Williams' music and the two scenes I like being Yoda and also Snoke trash talking Kylo, who I hated a lot more because he was so whiny and complaining all the time. I just couldn't stand him. And also because of the visuals and practical effects, I give this movie a 2 out of 10 because I really, really hate it. So yeah, I'm done now. So and thank God for that because I hate this movie. And I don't really like to talk about it. I'm doing it with this trash talk and that's it. So, you know, drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to comments what you guys think of The Lazy Jedi. If you've seen it, let's see what your thoughts are on it. Also, be sure to join the team by pressing subscribe for more videos coming in the future. And may the Force be with you always.